flag-bearing bikers, many of them Vietnam veterans, throttled their engines Sunday for the annual Rolling Thunder ride through the Capitol as President Donald Trump vowed to keep the Memorial Day spectacle alive. Spectators lined the route from the Pentagon to the National Mall to watch the growling parade of choppers, a leather-clad, red, white and blue tribute to American soldiers missing in the Vietnam War. It had been billed as the last National Rolling Thunder ride by its organizers, but Trump, who loves a parade, appeared to offer a reprieve. The great patriots of Rolling Thunder will be coming back to Washington, D.C., next year, and hopefully for many years to come. It is where they want to be, and where they should be, Trump tweeted from Japan. Thank you to our great men and women of the Pentagon for working it out. The Pentagon had no comment, referring questions to the White House, which offered no details on what had been worked out. But Trump's word was enough for Ron Gailey, a Navy veteran who served in Vietnam in 1968-69 and has taken part in every Rolling Thunder ride since 1990. Trump said it's not over, so it is not over, and he is the boss of those guys and he keeps his word, he told AFP. Many pro-Trump banners were visible among the bikers forming up for the parade. Evangelist Reverend Franklin Graham is leading a group of more than 250 Christian leaders in calling for June 2 to be a special day of prayer for the President, Donald J. Trump. Graham posted his call to Facebook, asking for Americans to respond to his post. President Trump's enemies continue to try everything to destroy him, his family, and the presidency. In the history of our country, no president has been attacked as he has. I believe the only hope for him, and this nation, is God. This is a critical time for America. We're on the edge of a precipice. Time is short. We need to pray for God to intervene. We need to ask God to protect, strengthen, encourage, and guide the president. We know that God hears and answers prayer. He can soften hearts and change minds. He is all-powerful, and He rules over the affairs of nations. The Bible instructs us to pray for those in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and reverence. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior. 1 Timothy 2:2-3. Graham is asking all pastors to lead their congregations on June 2 in praying for the President, and that Sunday schools and other groups would also join in the special day of prayer. The Christian leader also asks that individuals and families across the country would have a special focus on praying for the President that day. Would you let me know in the comments below if you commit to pray with us? Graham asked. And will you share this on your social media platforms so that we can have as many people as possible praying? President Donald Trump ridiculed former Vice President Joe Biden after North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un described him as a fool of low IQ. I have confidence that Chairman Kim will keep his promise to me, and also smiled when he called Swampman Joe Biden a low IQ individual, and worse, Trump wrote on Twitter. Trump suggested that Kim's mockery of Biden was a signal of allegiance to their relationship. The president also dismissed North Korea's act of firing short-range ballistic missiles, despite his national security advisor John Bolton decrying the tests as a violation of a United Nations resolution. North Korea fired off some small weapons, which disturbed some of my people, and others, but not me, he wrote. Trump commented on the news while in Japan, posting his remarks on Twitter at 6:30 a.m. Japanese time. North Korea fired off some small weapons, which disturbed some of my people, and others, but not me. I have confidence that Chairman Kim will keep his promise to me, and also smiled when he called Swampman Joe Biden a low IQ individual, and worse. Perhaps that's sending me a signal. Every Memorial Day, I think about those men and women I know who died in combat against our nation's enemies. I think especially about the families who lost Marines under my command and how I owe it to them to ensure that I preserve not only their memory, but the safety and security of the very nation for which they gave their lives. Similarly, every American owes a debt of gratitude to the generations of warriors who preserved our nation's freedom against the evils of colonialism, imperialism, Nazism, and socialism, communism. If Americans expect to maintain that freedom, we must match our gratitude with a commitment to defeat the threats that, today, could turn our republic and our freedom into a memory. These types of threats are referred to as existential. They hold at risk the very existence of America as we know it. Today's existential threats are embodied in the red-green axis and the methods by which those adversaries are currently working to bring an end to America. The red-green axis is an ideological and political combination of Marxism-Leninism and Sharia. The red part of this axis consists of threats ranging from the socialist and communist states of Russia and China to the socialist movement in the United States, part of which is firmly entrenched in American society and even within the American government. The green part of the axis includes the global jihad movement, a diverse array of Sharia supremacists who don't necessarily align with each other but are united in their hatred of the principles of liberty by which America was founded. This movement ranges from the Islamic Republic of Iran to the Islamic State, ISIS, and the hundreds of jihadi organizations worldwide, to the most effective and dangerous wellspring from which all these organizations emerge, the Muslim Brotherhood. Americans are relatively familiar with the violent terrorism taking place globally at the hands of Islamic jihadis, including the genocidal persecution of Christians, non-Muslims, and non-Sharia adherent Muslims. Unfortunately, most Americans are completely blind to the aggressive and effective civilization jihad being executed here at home by the Muslim Brotherhood. While the Axis is working to fundamentally transform America, there is no faster way to end our sovereignty and snuff out the bright shining light of freedom than by turning off the lights through a successful attack on our most critical national infrastructure, the electric grid. Numerous government-sponsored and independent studies over nearly 2 decades confirm that a widespread nationwide blackout lasting a year or more would result in the loss of 90% of our population. The fastest and most effective method to take down America's electric grid is through employing a nuclear weapon in a high-altitude electromagnetic pulse, EMP, attack. All our enemies know this and are working very hard to exploit the nation's critical vulnerability to EMP. In fact, there are powerful members of the red-green axis directly collaborating on everything from weapons development to the leasing of American ports of entry to seize key terrain necessary to both threaten our nuclear deterrent and smuggle nuclear-capable ballistic missiles into the United States. Fortunately, the Trump administration is working tirelessly to counter all these threats. But this is not enough. For our nation to weather the storm of the red-green axis, everyone must wake up to these threats and commit to defeating them. The first and most urgent step is to take away our enemy's opportunity for a kill shot. If we fail, we risk a future where American freedom itself becomes a memory. We must secure the grid now, Academy Award-winning actor Jon Voight declared President Donald Trump the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln, insisting that his every political move has been correct. In the first of 2 videos entitled To My Fellow Americans, the Ray Donovan star praised Trump's efforts to combat the political left and their absurd words of the destruction. People of the Republican Party, I know you will agree with me when I say that our president has our utmost respect and love. This job is not easy, for he is battling the left, and their absurd words of destructions, the veteran actor began. I've said this once and I'll say it again, that our nation has been built on the solid ground from our forefathers. And there is a moral code of duty that has been passed on from President Lincoln. In the second part, Jon Voight goes on to argue that America is witnessing triumph despite claims from the political left that it is in crisis. The country is stronger, safer, and with more jobs, because our president has every move correct, Voight says. Don't be fooled by the political left, because we are the people of this nation that is witnessing triumph. So let us stand with our president, let us stand up for this truth that President Trump is the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. God bless America, and may God continue to guide this nation. Much love. Last month, the 80-year-old star, who is also the father of actress and activist Angelina Jolie, sent a similar message of support to Fox News host Laura Ingraham against attempts by left-wing activists to pressure advertisers into boycotting her show The Ingraham Angle. You know the truth is very important right now, most especially, the Oli star said. And those who believe in the truth are to be cherished. People like Laura Ingraham. They're wonderful people who we need very much at this time, when our president is being attacked with lies and slanders from the media. So I have a message for Laura. I want to send her my love, and I want to thank her for all that she does. God bless Laura, Voight said.